No one at Ridgewood High expected that one cruel act would change their school forever. It started with a new girl, quiet, kind, and shy, and ended with an entire town learning what real strength and kindness look like. When 16-year-old Emily Parker was rushed to the hospital, unconscious and bruised, everyone whispered and pointed fingers. But when her mother, Sarah, walked through those school doors the next morning, no one whispered anymore. Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel name, where real stories remind us that kindness is power, and love can turn even the darkest days into hope. If you believe in the power of standing up for what's right, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us spread more stories that touch hearts and inspire change. Emily Parker had just moved to Ridgewood, a small suburban town in Ohio. Her father had passed away 2 years earlier, and her mother, Sarah, had decided to start fresh, a new job, a new home, and a new school for Emily. Emily wasn't like most kids her age. She was quiet, loved reading, and found peace in sketching small flowers in her notebook. Her soft brown hair framed a gentle smile that seemed to hide her pain. On her first day at Ridgewood High, she sat alone at lunch, hoping someone would say hello. But high schools aren't always kind to those who stand out. Within days, whispers began to spread. A group of popular girls, led by Madison, the cheer captain, started calling her farm girl because of the simple way she dressed. They laughed at her second-hand shoes, her old backpack, and the way she blushed when she spoke. At first, Emily ignored them. Her mother had always told her, "Sweetheart, kindness isn't weakness. Keep being you." But the teasing got worse. Notes appeared in her locker. Her drawings were ripped apart and thrown in the trash. One day, her lunch was dumped on her seat before she sat down. The cafeteria laughed while she tried to clean it up, tears filling her eyes. Still, Emily said nothing. When Sarah asked how school was going, Emily forced a smile. "It's fine, Mom. Just trying to fit in." But behind closed doors, she cried into her pillow every night. Then came the day everything changed. It was a rainy Friday afternoon. Most students were rushing home, but Emily stayed behind to finish an art project in the empty classroom. Madison and her friends stayed too, planning something cruel. They cornered Emily by the lockers. Words turned into shoves. Shoves turned into hits. And when Emily fell, they didn't stop. By the time a janitor found her, she was unconscious, barely breathing. The ambulance sirens echoed through the school halls as students stood frozen in shock. Teachers cried. The police came. And the next morning, Ridgewood High was on the front page of every local newspaper. Emily was in a coma. When Sarah arrived at the hospital, the sight of her daughter lying pale and still shattered her. She sat by her bedside, holding Emily's hand, whispering prayers through her tears. "Please wake up, baby. Please." For 2 days, Sarah barely left that hospital room. But on the third day, something inside her changed. She looked at Emily's peaceful face and remembered every time she told her to be kind, even to those who weren't kind back. But now, Sarah realized kindness didn't mean silence. That morning, she walked into Ridgewood High. The halls went quiet. Students whispered, teachers stared, and the principal tried to stop her at the office door. But Sarah didn't come to fight, she came to teach. She stood in front of the entire staff and said, "My daughter is fighting for her life because kindness was missing in these hallways. Because kids forgot what it means to be human." The principal, Mr. Thompson, looked shaken. "Mrs. Parker, we're deeply sorry." Sarah raised a hand. "Sorry won't fix this. Change will." She asked for an emergency assembly. And to everyone's surprise, the principal agreed. That afternoon, the entire student body gathered in the gym. Reporters waited outside. Sarah walked to the microphone, her hands trembling slightly, but her voice was steady. She began softly, "My daughter Emily came here to start over. She wanted friends, a fresh beginning. Instead, she got hate." The room was silent. Even Madison sat still, her head down. Sarah continued, "You may think one cruel word, one joke, one shove means nothing. But it adds up. And sometimes, it takes away someone's light. Her voice cracked as she looked at the crowd. Emily believed in kindness. Even when you broke her heart, she smiled. She never spoke badly of anyone here. Because she thought maybe, just maybe, someone would be kind back. She paused, wiping her tears. I'm not here to blame. I'm here to remind you, we can do better. We must do better. Then she shared something beautiful. She told them about the time Emily found a stray cat shivering behind the grocery store and spent her allowance buying it food. Or when she stayed after class to help a boy with dyslexia read his homework. She gave kindness freely, Sarah said. And I hope when she wakes up, this school gives it back. That day, something shifted at Ridgewood High. Students started leaving notes of apology at Emily's locker. Teachers organized a kindness week in her honor. Even Madison, broken with guilt, visited the hospital with flowers, though she couldn't face Sarah's eyes. Days turned into weeks. And one morning, when Sarah was holding her daughter's hand, she felt Emily's fingers twitch. Then again. Emily? Sarah whispered. Her daughter's eyes fluttered open. Mom, she murmured weakly. Sarah broke down crying, hugging her tightly. Nurses rushed in, but in that moment, nothing else mattered. Emily was awake. News spread like wildfire. Ridgewood High celebrated her recovery, but Sarah reminded them it wasn't about celebration. It was about change. When Emily returned to school months later, everything was different. Her old locker was covered in paper hearts and drawings saying welcome back and we missed you. The same kids who once mocked her now wanted to walk with her to class. But Emily didn't return for pity. She came back with quiet strength. She asked the principal for permission to start something new, the Kindness Club. Its mission was simple, to make sure no one at Ridgewood ever felt alone again. The club grew fast. Within weeks, dozens joined. Students who used to be silent bystanders now volunteered to help others. Madison became one of the first members. During the first meeting, Emily stood at the front and said softly, "What happened to me hurt. But I don't want hate to be the end of my story. I want kindness to be." The room erupted in quiet applause. Tears filled the eyes of many who had once turned away from her pain. Years later, Ridgewood High was known across the state for its kindness initiatives. The school that once failed a student became a beacon of compassion for others. And at every assembly, Sarah Parker still came to speak, not with anger, but with hope. She would look out at the students and say, "My daughter was hurt because people forgot how to care. But she healed because people remembered again." Emily went on to study social work. Her dream was to help bullied kids find their voices, the voice she almost lost but never gave up. In the end, the story of Emily Parker wasn't about tragedy, it was about transformation. One act of cruelty nearly destroyed a life, but one mother's courage and one girl's kindness rebuilt a community. Kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest force we have. It can bring a school to its knees, and then lift it higher than it's ever been before. So, wherever you are right now, remember, a smile, a word, a simple act of care, it could be the moment that saves someone's life. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your channel name for more real stories that remind us how powerful kindness can be. And remember, the world doesn't change through anger. It changes through compassion. So go out there today and be the reason someone believes in good again.